This episode is sponsored by Chapman & Company.
Hi there and welcome to The Coffee Grinds, hosted by Mug.News. We are your baristas, Justin Krug
and Caitlin Clays. We have a great menu today that highlights impressive student entrepreneurs in Middle America.
So grab a cup of coffee and let's get to the grind.
What is up? Welcome to Coffee Grinds, hosted by Mug.News, where we interview young entrepreneurs, founders, and startup creators. I am your barista, Caitlin Clays, presenting our flavor of the day, Hunter Bergman. So let's get to the grind. Hunter, thank you so much for stopping by the coffee shop today.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I love the whole aesthetic and the vibe. I think this is such a cool thing because it creates the experience, like the virtual experience. Mm-hmm. In a few months, we're going to have headsets on and we're just going to be chilling that way.
Yeah, the VR. Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. Or the dream is to one day perhaps meet in real life person. Remember coffee shops? Remember the day?
I know, right?
Well, why don't we go ahead and spill the beans on what you're up to in the entrepreneurship community?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. Yeah, so I'm Hunter Bergman. I'm a junior marketing major at the University of Nebraska Lincoln. I have a minor in entrepreneurship with an emphasis in sales. And as a lot of my friends would say, I do a lot of different things. But I want to preface that I only do things that I really love and enjoy. And so one of the things that I love the most is entrepreneurship. We actually I'm part of Startups UNL, a student organization on campus. I'm dedicated to providing the resources and connections for young entrepreneurs to be successful. And through that, we just have like a community gatherings, membership meetings. It's a ton of fun. Yesterday we had we have membership meetings every Monday, or the first Monday of every month. We just have like a big meeting. So we all get together. And yesterday we had like 15 students pitch their ideas, talk about what they're working on building and stuff like that. So it's so cool to be, kind of an executive leader and help foster this culture and community. And so that's definitely takes a lot of my time and nurturing that. I also am a kind of like a culture ambassador, I would say, for the Center for Entrepreneurship on campus. The two organizations play together. The center is more of the resources and the programming, and then Startups is like the community and the funness of that. Ton of fun all around. And I'm also a part of Yacht, which is a full-service agency ran by students but guided by industry professionals. And so we've got industry leaders that help our students provide high-quality material for real clients. So you get the real environment of working in an agency before you actually enter the real world. So it's like a safe place to fail, grow your skills and mindset. And so that's a ton of fun. I'm a new business developer there, one of the only College of Business students next to a bunch of College of Journalism students. But it's really cool to be part of that because I have kind of that entrepreneurial thinking of like you see problems and you want to solve them. And so that's super fun. And I'm hoping to become the director of new business development in the near future. So that'll be a ton of fun. It'll give me experience of managing the operations of an agency of about 55 employees. And they do north of like $100,000 a year in revenue. So it'll be really cool hands-on experience to understand how these things work, kind of the business model canvas, how do you grow that organization, the entrepreneurship spirit, right? And then kind of I want to jump to the last thing, which is like really the entrepreneurial side of me and kind of my own venture. So right now, a friend and I named Cameron Stone from the University of Minnesota Duluth are building this organization called Young Entrepreneurs Evolution, YE. And every time you say YE, like you get excited, right? You can't say it without like smiling. And it's literally pretty much an organization built to get people in the Midwest plugged into the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Now more than ever via Zoom and technology, we can be interconnected. And so we want to build a community of like-minded individuals in the Midwest, but who are globally minded. And so we're really working towards, getting connected with student organizations at other universities, putting on collaborative events. Our mission is to really, again, provide the resources and connections for young entrepreneurs to be successful. But also like our vision is to really create, kind of this community of entrepreneurs that want to work from, kind of like these rural areas, right? Like, I think again, I tell us the students and the members of our organizations all the time is entrepreneurship, by definition, is the root word comes from to undertake, right? It doesn't have anything to do with business, right? And so again, it applies to business because you're taking action and creating a monetary gain. But I think one of the worst things that have ever happened to the word is being associated with people like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, these huge people, because yes, they're entrepreneurs, but that's 0.001% of anybody who ever starts a business, right? And so it's almost like a fallacy, it's like a false narrative for people to kind of aspire to become. And not to say that you can't, build a tech company that's highly scalable. You can do that now more than ever in today's society. But, so we're building this organization to help these people in the rural areas get connected to this overall macro environment. We really want to focus on doing like exchange programs with universities abroad to get people pulled out, thinking in different areas, come back and bring that to rural Nebraska or rural South Dakota, wherever inside of the Midwest. Because, we've seen that, we have like the Nebraska Nice, where I'm from here in Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. And it's a great thing. And it's really a core value of a lot of businesses and companies. And so seeing people have these ideas and like implementing them in their communities would be fantastic. And now, again, with technology, you can work from anywhere. You could work for Microsoft and still live in a town of 2,500 people, right? That's just kind of a reality that we're moving towards. And so this will serve as kind of this hub for innovation and activity and excitement and creativity. Again, we want to do like, whenever events come back, we can do like big events and have people travel to like, Lincoln or these rotating areas that get other people exposed, network, have some fun, and build relationships. It's served, our target demographic right now is young entrepreneurs like who are like junior, senior year of college, looking to get into the workforce. It kind of is like a young professional group, but really fun and geared towards, I guess, innovation and change, and bringing that like globally mindedness and the problem solving and like design thinking to these like, rural communities. But yeah, it's a ton of fun. Again, we're about a couple months into the development phase. We just kicked off our first event a couple weeks ago, and we had over 5 universities represented, and it was a ton of fun. And we're just slowly moving this, like I call it the snowball effect. You push a snowball so far up a hill, eventually it's going to get to the, big enough where it can just roll by itself, and you'll get traction. But
So with all of your activities that you're involved in, all your business organizations, do you sleep or?
Actually, it's so funny. A lot of people say that. And again, like I said, I really love everything I do, right? I wake up every single day and I do what I love. And I refuse to do something that I do not love and enjoy, right? Because like, I'm a huge proponent of, you have to chase your own dreams. Like, why would you spend your life living somebody else's, and like, it's too short not to, and so all of these organizations and stuff fill a bunch of different buckets for me. It doesn't just fill the career and professional bucket. It fills, my impact and significance and all of these other buckets that I have. And it's a lot. Yes, it is. Sometimes it gets stressful. But, when I say these things, it's really easy to say that I do a lot and it feels like I do a lot. But I have a team, right? Startups UNL, I've got a team of executives. In Yacht, I've got a team of executives or a team of leaders and, people behind me, right? Even Young Entrepreneurs Evolution, my co-founder Cameron is a rock star. And then we have like, 10 other students who are just like, I want to help and get involved. And so, I would not be able to do all of these things without the help of, other people and teams and ideas and new perspectives. It's just, I think it's really easy to be like at the focal point, but it's so important to know that everybody who's going to jam to this, being on a team is so refreshing because you get to do the things that you're good at, right? If you're on a team or like if you're just trying to like do the solopreneur, you're like you have to do everything, man. You got to do marketing, finances, operations, and sometimes not everybody is fit for that cookie cutter, right? And so finding people that fill in your weaknesses is so refreshing because if my friend Cameron was here, he would definitely say that he excels at like execution and GSD, that kind of stuff, and then I'm more of like the visionary and leader, like behind that, the rallier, right? Bring the energy kind of thing. So it's a very good compliment. So I would definitely recommend those of you out on that solopreneur journey, find somebody who fills in that gap of your weaknesses for sure.
So then what inspired you to become an entrepreneur and work in this field?
Oh yeah, as I was like, I saw that question, I was really thinking, I was like, what really inspired me? And I can't say that I was ever like, I was like, this is the moment where I'm going this direction. Like I've always been different, right? I've always had a tendency to just go above and beyond, or like get involved or do different things. It started when I was really young age. I was always trying to like do things and sell things. I remember I would volunteer at a home and garden show with my mom. I would run this like Plinko thing, right, in Norfolk. I'm sure people don't really know what that is, but it's like a career fair or like a fair, with companies. And I was like, 13 years old running this like Plinko game, and then I'd hand out like prizes and stuff. But I was also volunteering at a nursing home. And right across the way from my booth where I was running this Plinko game, there was like a sauna, an infrared sauna, that they were like preaching about all these health benefits and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, I want to make an impact, right? Like these guys have the solution to a problem that I'm seeing at this nursing home, where people are they're frail and they need health and rejuvenation and stuff. And little 13-year-old me is like, I see a problem and I found a solution. Let's see if we can meet in the middle. So I got a bunch of material. Like 13 or 14-year-old me went to the director of this like nursing home and was like, hey, this is why you should buy one of these infrared saunas for your people. And they're like, what? Who are you? Like, what are you trying to do? Like what do you want? How much you get in commission on this? And like, I just wanted to make a difference. I just wanted to make an impact, right? And so when you ask what inspires me is to be able to carve out my impact. Yes, you can do that in other organizations, entrepreneurship and those types of things. But I think that's the biggest thing, is like being able to build my skill set up to, dictate what I want to do, right? My own schedule. And again, like I don't want to like necessarily be my own boss, because being an entrepreneur comes with a ton of more headaches than just, clocking in and clocking out, which, don't get me wrong, I have the days where I would much rather just like, have somebody tell me what to do instead of like worry about all these fires. But I would say that. And my mom was a huge, encourager. She's always like saw my inquisition. I would say curiosity has been one of the biggest drivers of who I am, is like always asking questions, figuring out, why does this work? The 5 levels of why. I don't know if anybody ever knows that, but really getting to the root of what the problem is. And again, we live in a society right now that is being absolutely disrupted. And if you can't understand how to problem solve, identify, and evaluate, and then discuss, and then execute, I mean, you're probably going to be left behind, right? Like, how employable can you be for a company if you can identify their problems and then come up with a creative solution to solve that problem? I mean, to me, that's like a rock star employee, right? Mm-hmm. But again, I think it's kind of in the Gen Z. Like, I'm just like right in the beginning of Gen Z, so I think it's kind of our nature. We've grown up with e-commerce and the internet. But again, just making an impact in the world. I think carving it out, is kind of what inspires me every day.
Mm-hmm. I'm imagining a 7-year-old hunter with the lemonade stand on the corner. Hey, we are at the cornerstone of all of these different types, the lemonade business and the homemade sugar business. So
it was the chocolate bars. I don't know if anybody remembers those chocolate bars.
No way.
Yeah, I used to sell those chocolate bars so much when I was young. For sure.
Okay.
And it's funny. I had when I would raise money for like school projects and stuff. And like, when I was in a community college, to go on trips and stuff, I actually had a donut delivery route. So we would do a Krispy Kreme fundraiser, and I would just like fill up my shopping cart with all these Krispy Kreme donuts, and I would just push them into the mall, and say, hey guys, you guys want to buy some Krispy Kreme donuts? And nobody can say no to like a warm dozen of Krispy Kreme donuts, like, for sure.
Incredible. So you talk about team building and connecting with others, and it's hard to do it on your own. So then I'm talking about your community when we're like with my next question. So is there adequate support from your community regarding entrepreneurship, whether that be your mentors, in addition to like your business partners? Why don't you tell me a little bit more about that?
Oh man, yeah. Again, I've only been in this ecosystem, so I don't really know another ecosystem that's like more developed. However, being the executive leader of Startups UNL and looking for resources for our members, it has been, no shortage of help, right? We when the pandemic happened, we had to cancel all of our events, and so we transitioned to online. And so automatically we were like, what are we going to do? So we charted this Founder Friday series and Monday Motivation, and we like the community kept giving us speakers and mentors, and really actually helped us fuel the jet, right? That's one of our core values is fuel. FCJ is like an action thing, but to really answer your question is that there's a plethora of mentors, and Lincoln is so small that like you meet one person and everybody is just willing to help you out and support you. Again, this might just be like my perspective of a college student. When I graduate, they're going to be like, sorry, business is cutthroat and competitive. We can't help you anymore. I doubt that's going to be the case. But we've got like accelerator programs. We've got like In Motion. In Motion is huge. They've got a really cool program. I have friends who have landed like prototype grants to build their ideas. Co-founders, we've seen co-founder relationships build and create like collaborative environments. Again, just collaborating with the community. They're always down to just really help us succeed, right? And at the end of the day, there are some key influencers in the ecosystem that really kind of drive, the direction that other people go. And so we've been working, right next to them, getting them as partners and collaborators. And like in terms of funding as well, there's a ton of opportunity to get your ideas sold and funded. And we were actually just we hosted our membership meeting yesterday at an accelerator called the Combine. It's focused on ag tech and stuff like that. However, they have a free program that if you have in the agriculture or food industry, you can just plug in and pretty much get help and service and work in their space. Everybody's just so willing to help you out. It's like your neighbors. The Nebraska Nice is a real thing. Like people are actually like your neighbors and they care about you. They don't care about just, your business and making you successful, or like maybe it looks good for them or good PR or whatever. No, they're here because they know that if they help us or if they help this person, they're going to come out and they're going to impact this community, right? And what I've seen too with my friends is when the community invests in our like smaller community of students, these students have roots here, right? Like they get roots and they are like, you know what? Like I want to go off in these bigger ecosystems, but I already am so well connected here that I should just stay. I should just work here for, 2 to 3 years and grow my company and, really invest. And there's some corporate giants here in Lincoln. We've got Nelnet, Huddle, Emeritus. It's just these big companies that are investing in the ecosystem as well. It's very supportive. Again, this is from the mindset of a student, and this is I come from a town of 2,500 people, and so this is a much better environment than where I came from and grew up. But we definitely have our long road ahead, I think, to really become and get a full mature ecosystem where we are producing unicorns and those types of things. Deal flow and stuff like that for venture capitals are pretty low out here. And I think a lot of times VCs are going outside of Nebraska to get funding because there's not a huge emphasis. But I really think with this pandemic happening and then the resources, everything is lining up for the Midwest to become the forefront of the Silicon Prairie.
Mm-hmm. So then before we completely close out, I always like to ask the fun question of if you or your business were a coffee, what would you be and why?
So I'm so plugged into Startups UNL that I want to answer via that, because there's so many organizations. And I actually asked all of them, I was like, what do you guys think? I'm not a huge, I drink coffee, but I just drink black coffee. But I got 2 different responses that I think really, reflect our culture. And the first one is the dry cappuccino. So on the top, it's foam and it's tasty and it's fun and inviting. That kind of symbolizes our community. But underneath is the espresso of the grit, hard work, determination, and ambition that fuels our jet and our ideas and creativity. The second one is the Espresso Martini. And this is coffee with vodka. Yeah. And this reflects our work hard, play harder attitude. It's important to work hard, get that espresso in there, get the grind in there. But it's even better to play with a little bit of the vodka in there.
Oh my gosh, you love to see it. And also incorporates a little bit of the college vibe.
Definitely the college vibe. But I swear, if you're not celebrating your successes, you're doing life wrong.
That is fair enough. Well, that is all the time we have for today, so thank you so much to our guest for sharing more information about his blend of hard work. You can find out more about what Hunter does through the links in the menu description, or you can go to mug.news to see his feature article. Make sure to leave a comment and follow mug.news for more hot takes like this one. We will see you next time at the Coffee Grinds.